Ever wanted to hear how 300 guitar players playing the same song at the same time sounds? Well, hello there, my name is Vladimir. Welcome to my, today for whatever reason, very messy studio. On July 7th, 2019, I participated in something called Rockin 1000. It's an event where 1000 musicians from all over the world get together and form this huge band to play a full set of songs, mainly classic rock stuff, and few kind of local hits depending on where the event is being held at. The whole Rockin 1000 thing got started by this Italian guy who wanted to see the Foo Fighters play in his small town. To get the band's attention, he got this idea to get a bunch of musicians in one place and play Foo Fighters' Learn to Fly song, and they made video about that thing. The video went viral, and as they say, the rest is history. Because of the success of that thing, Fabio and other guys as well started to think whether they could kind of take this concept even further. And now a few years in, there's been concerts in Russia, Mexico, USA, Spain, Sweden, Belgium, and a bunch of other countries as well. I was at Rockin 1000 thanks to Hughes Kettner, who brought a bunch of guitar Ubers first to their own event, and then that whole group went to participate in the Rockin 1000. So how does all of this actually work, you might ask? You start by signing up on their website, you provide some of your information, and you also need to provide a link to a video of you playing. And there's kind of an audition process happening where they will check out your video and determine whether you are a good enough player to actually participate in this. If you get accepted, you get access to the website where you have all the material to learn the songs, how to arrive to the place, and all of that. There's no fee to enter the event itself, but you will have to bring your own instrument, pay for the flights, hotels, all of that stuff. But in some cases, there's option to, for example, rent a guitar amp, something that happened at the Frankfurt event, for example. Depending on your instrument, you also might get assigned, for example, to guitar left and guitar right, and those have individual backing tracks, tabs, instructional videos, and so on. On Friday, which was 5th of July, we had our first rehearsal, and because there was another band playing at the arena itself, where we would later actually play the show, we got assigned to this weird little field type of thingy, and YouTuber group was literally playing in bushes. The first rehearsal was just the guitars, and what you would hear through the headphones was not only the instructions our coordinator would give us, but also the same MIDI track. For example, if the song was Smells Like Teen Spirit, you would hear the same MIDI track that you used to rehearse the song, you would hear that on your headphones as well. And basically, if you spend time learning the song before the event, you'll be just fine because you can just follow the same track. To me, at least, it kind of made sense. The musicians attending this event are mostly hobbyist level, and this meant many of them were having the time of their life over there. And you could see it also in the rigs they brought with them. Somebody had like a dual rectifier and a 4x12. Somebody had a stereo rig with Axe effects and 2 power caps going on, and somebody had like a Pod HD or whatever the old rack pod is with a power amp and a 4x12. All kinds of fun and awesome rigs. Unfortunately, this also meant that there was a lot of noodling happening. During the breaks between every song, when we were waiting for some instructions, all of that, just a crazy amount of noodling all the time. And like, if you're not used to playing live, something like turning down your guitar volume once you stop playing or the song stop doesn't come naturally to you, and that resulted in many situations where the song would stop and then someone's amp launches into crazy feedback. Even though 300 guitar players noodling is basically sound of my nightmares, so to speak, once we actually got into playing, that's where I realized, okay, this is what the event is all about. The sound of 300 guitars playing the same riff at the same time is just something that you have to experience. No video or anything like that will do it complete justice. At that point, the event started to feel really special, and I was super fortunate also because I got to share it with my YouTuber friends and friends from Hughes Kettner as well. After the guitar rehearsal, we had a small break, and then drummers and bass players joined us as well, and we went through 5 to 10 songs and called it a day. Our team skipped the Saturday morning rehearsal because we had a full week of video shoots behind us and everybody needed a little bit of rest. So the first rehearsal we attended was actually Saturday afternoon, and the lovely people from Hughes and Kettner actually had set up our amps there already and everything. And somehow I found myself in the front row on the guitar ride. But that evening was the first time we played with the whole band, so guitar players, bass, drums, keyboards, brass section and the singers as well. And we went through the whole set once and then worked on a few songs and called it a night at that point because it was still pretty late. I think we finished closer to 11 p.m. On Saturday morning, we went through the whole set once more and then rehearsed how we'll be entering the arena and stuff like that. And then there was a long break in between because our show was supposed to start at 8 p.m. or so. Even though I was tired from all the traveling, video shoots, all of those things, when you actually enter the arena, the adrenaline kind of kicks in and you forget all of that. There was roughly 22,000 or so people in the audience, and you kind of want to enjoy the moment because 18 songs go by fast. Playing in front of 22,000 people is something that very few of us get to do, and it's one of those gigs that I'm pretty sure I'll never forget. During the show, it was also announced that this was the biggest live band ever. It's an official Guinness World Record of 1,002 musicians. And I'm pretty sure somebody's going to break that record pretty soon, but it's fun to be a world record holder for at least a little while. After the show, we basically packed up the guitars, amps and all of that, and that was the end of Rockin 1000. So right now you might ask, should I participate in the Rockin 1000? And my answer is yes, but I think there's few things that you need to know before you actually do sign up. I know this is kind of obvious, but it will cost you money. You need to pay for the travel, hotel, equipment, food, all of that. I personally also found learning the songs a bit difficult because the only material we were provided with was either like a playthrough thing by a guitar guru, so one of the guys organizing the event, or tabs. And something that I was really missing was the kind of chart that just said, here's the name of the song, here are the chords of the different sections, and here's the structure of the song. And this is important because many of the songs weren't kind of loyal to the original arrangement, but there were some changes, some sections were simplified or left out, and you couldn't tell that unless you watched the Guitar Guru video, and even then it was kind of difficult to figure out which parts of the song are actually happening, because there wasn't, for example, a vocal line track in the material provided for the guitar players. There was like a MIDI keyboard lead line, but you couldn't follow the lyrics, for example, to know what section of the song we're going through right now. So personally, yeah, I found the material kind of lacking. You could provide just chord sheets, and especially the structure in the song on one like A4 sheet that you could then print for yourself, have that at the event itself, so you know the song structure and you have the chords with you, because nobody's going to look at the tabs while you are playing, but that kind of chord sheet and song structure would be really useful. Something that you also need to be aware of is that there will be a lot of waiting. To me, it felt like the guys organizing the event were kind of figuring out stuff on the fly, which sometimes meant that we had to arrive to a place, let's say, for example, at 10 a.m. and then we would wait for an hour for them to figure whatever thing out before we actually started doing anything. And please don't take this as any kind of racial thing or anything like that, but different countries and different nations have different perception of time, so to speak. For example, in some African countries, if you say you're going to visit someone during the afternoon that day, you not showing up at all or you showing up at 9 p.m. is completely fine. Everybody's used to that. Whereas in Finland and in Germany, if you say you'll be at someone's place at 5 p.m. and you show up there 5:30, that's considered very rude, and it's something you don't really want to do. So basically it felt like the organizing side wasn't like really grasping how much time certain things would take, and it meant us just sitting around and waiting, which especially on Friday was a bit difficult because it was a super hot day and the sun was scorching, and some people struggled with that a lot. As you can tell from the organizational side, there's still lots of room to improve, but nothing that actually kind of ruins the event itself. Once you get to playing guitar or drums or whatever you do play, it's just fun. It's such a unique thing. I probably wouldn't do it again because of the travel and everything. I think having this as a one-time experience is enough for me. There were some guys that were like Rockin 1000 veterans, which is really fun. They had like t-shirts, custom pics, all of that. And I can completely understand that many people get hooked up to this thing. Some guy had actually been at several shows this year in US, in France, and now in Germany as well, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I get it. And if you want to join the Rockin 1000, follow the link below in the description. And if you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, ask any questions you might have about the event, signing up, all of that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell as well. Thanks for watching this video. I shall see you next time.